Well, hello there, and hello to you, Meghann.
Hello.
So glad that you're here with us here for After GMS. It has been a long time. I feel like it probably went by like this for you, but for me, Christian and Ed know every day. I'm like, countdown.
When's Meghann coming back?
Like 8 weeks, 6 weeks. I'm like 4 weeks. I'm like, guess what? She's coming back in 2 weeks. And then every day for the last 2 weeks, I'm like, one more day.
It's almost here.
I know. I got an excited text from her last night. It just really, your support has made this transition so much easier. You know, it's been an amazing 3 months and 1 week with my...
You know exactly.
I do. I know exactly how long it is. With my second child, my baby girl, Elizabeth Hadley. She was born back in early February, joining her big brother, Christian. There's a little picture of her. She has her dad.
How great you look, by the way.
Oh, gosh.
I mean,
I did not feel great that day. Thank you.
Yeah, you look great.
She's my little sweetie. She really is such a happy baby. I mean, babies have different personalities. That's my wild 2-year-old as well. But she is just very content. She goes with the flow. Maybe it's a second child thing, or maybe I just lucked out with her, but she's really easy-natured. And Christian is the best big brother. Once he learned how to be gentle and not get in her face all the time, he has really adapted to this new role and loves to see her smile. And we still go on adventures. There's us hiking. Had to wear her on the front. She's getting a little heavier though. It's a little harder. When she smiles, she has her daddy's dimples.
Oh, look at that big guy.
Oh, yeah, big brother. We had a special mommy-son date the other day, which was really cute. I took some inspiration from you. I remember you did that with Josiah after Simone was born.
Yeah. And I still do it.
Do you? Good.
Yeah, but enough about me. Let's talk about, no, seriously. So Ed mentioned this earlier, you know, the alarm clock is something that we live by on the Good Morning Show. But when you have a baby, I mean, they wake you up. Yeah. So what time was Elizabeth up and ready to say goodbye to you this morning?
Well, I set my alarms, my 3 alarms, like staggered, starting at 2, 2:15, 2:20, just to make sure that I was up. You know, and of course she woke up when she heard my alarm. So I fed her around the normal time, and then normally she goes back down, but today she knows, she knew.
She's like, something is different here.
Mom was gonna leave. She wasn't crying, but she was wide awake and smiling, and I'm like, oh no, she's not
that she's gonna be okay.
Yeah, so she was laying in her bassinet, talking. Finally, my husband got up, and he's like, it's okay, you go, I got it. I said, okay. Texted him this morning, how are things going? He's like, we're doing it. Just don't text me like 12 times, ask me how it's going, because I'm going to be busy. So yeah, but we're going to find a new groove, and hopefully it'll go well.
So. We are glad you're back.
Thank you. It's exciting to be here. And thank you. Hello to all of you tuning in. I know I'm trying to get back in the groove here, so I forgot we were even live on the feed. Hi. You all are so sweet. Yes, thank you so much.
It might take a little while.
It might.
But the good thing is, I mean, I don't know about you, but the best feeling in the world is after a long day of relentless, like, giving, you know, to work and, you know, just a lot that we deal with here. To go home and to have, you know, faces that are excited to see you, to have little feet that are scampering after you. I mean, it just means the world. So, you know, you work hard today, and then you'll go home and you'll hug your babies, and you'll forget all about it, and then until tomorrow.
I can't wait. I know. I can't wait to get home. Yes, yes. But I am glad to be here, and so it's just been really awesome seeing all your support throughout these past few months, and all your tips and tricks. You know, the transition from 0 to 1.
Die by the sword.
0 to 1 is hard, because that's like your whole life changes. You know, you become a parent, and it's just different. And then 1 to 2, I felt for me was a little bit easier, even though I was busier, you know, with my toddler especially, and you know, all that comes with being 2. But I just felt a little more confident as a mom this time around.
Good.
And I felt like the recovery was a little bit better for me. And so I really enjoyed the time with my kids.
Awesome.
I'm really thankful for it.
Well, I'm glad that you did. And I saw your baby's gone to the beach.
She did. We did one beach trip.
She's gone to the mountains. I mean, she's well traveled.
Those were the 2 places, very nearby that we went. But it was just, it was a nice chance to get out. My husband was like, if we don't go now, we're not going to go.
He's right.
Okay, let's get in the car, which is, you know, an adventure with 2 kids, packing up everything, the spare clothes, the stopping to feed, the stopping for diaper changes. But it was relaxing when we were there.
Has Christian tried to get her to play trucks with him yet?
Yes.
Yeah, I figured.
He tries to shove the trucks in her face, like, play with me.
Aww.
she's not quite there yet. But she likes looking at the truck. She really loves looking at him. I mean, it's amazing with the second child. They're just entertained by the first. You just have to supervise and you're good to go. I can start laundry. I can,
Okay. Look, you got this thing down.
Not exactly. Some days you feel like, hey, this was a really great day. I got this. And then other days you go to bed and I'm like, what happened today? Like meltdowns galore, who didn't take a nap, but that's just parenthood and every day's different and just gotta love him through and through.
Absolutely. Well, glad to have you back. A lot of
you.
people are sharing their welcome back messages. Debbie Isley said you were missed. Deborah Williams said she missed you as well. Jay said, welcome back, Meghann. Very happy you are back. So clearly they felt like we did, a little piece of the team was missing. Now we did enjoy having, people kind of fill in for you over the last few months. That was kind of fun, but there's nothing like our teammate.
We're having the fam back together.
Yeah, we feel full.
Love
Yes,
it.
we do.
I love it. And we love all you. Thank you. All right, so now, forecast, right?
Yeah, let's do
Yep,
it.
that's what we do.
Let's talk about the weather.
You're like, I'm in it. I got this.
How do we do this again? Warm and muggy, check. Scattered storms, check. It'll be much like a summer afternoon today. But first things first, remember all the talk about that lunar eclipse last night? Clouds were the big troublemaker in the Piedmont, but some folks were able to see enough breaks in those clouds to get a nice view of the super flower blood moon, as it's called last night. Of course, that lunar eclipse happened just after midnight. Love that picture from Evan Fisher up in Asheville, where clouds weren't as much of an issue in the mountains last night. Clouds still hanging over the Piedmont this morning. There are a few breaks in those with some sunshine and blue sky shining through. 65 degrees right now out the door in the furniture city of High Point. 65 in Greensboro too, 67 Winston-Salem, 67 Asheboro, Siler City as well. Burlington, you're at 66. Lexington, you're at 65. And in 70s along the coast this morning. But we also got to talk about that humidity because, as you know, it's summertime and that's starting to creep back in. Low 60s for dew points this morning, so it is a bit sticky when you step outside, and dew points in the mid and upper 60s further to the south. And with the south wind, more of that muggy air is going to be pouring in as we go into the afternoon. Now, as that pours in, we also have a cold front on the way this afternoon, and that cold front really acts like a trigger to fire off a couple scattered thunderstorms when it interacts with our heat and humidity this afternoon. Not everybody is going to get a storm, but you may get one this afternoon, so just kind of keep check on the weather from time to time. And you probably are still going to have to water your plants. This is not going to be a big deal rainmaker for us. Behind that cold front tomorrow, high pressure from the north will build in. It gives us some slightly cooler air, but the big story with that is that it takes away some of that humidity very briefly for your Tuesday and Wednesday. But by the middle of the week, that high will slide offshore, and we are really going to start to warm things up in a big way. Are you ready for the 90s? That's where we're headed. It's coming. Here it comes. For today, though, keep in mind we are in that western edge of that level 2 risk for severe weather in most of our area. Places like Forsyth County, Yadkin County, the Wilkesboros, Davidson County, just in a level 1 risk across the board. So overall, I think our severe weather threat is pretty low today, but I would still say to pay attention because some of those storms, if they get strong, could pack some damaging winds, some frequent lightning, or possibly some hail as well. Other than that, it's just a partly cloudy, warm and muggy day as we climb into the low and mid 80s this afternoon. And then there's that break in the humidity for Tuesday. Tuesday and Wednesday both look to stay dry, and then it will really feel like summer as we go into the end of the week. We're going to scare 90 on Thursday. Some folks will likely get to 90, if not some low 90s in spots. We'll run a 30% chance of a scattered shower and thunderstorm in the afternoon, and then it's just downright hot heading into the weekend. 92 Friday, 92 Saturday. And just like a summer day, we'll keep a low chance of a pop-up shower or thunderstorm.
All right, we are going to jump into our first conversation. We'll revisit the forecast in a little bit because I have an issue with those 90s, but we're going to jump into the conversation.
Sorry.
Yeah, that happened fast, right?
Oh, God. Okay, so this is Ed Matthews' favorite topic, especially when it pairs
It's got to
with
be food.
and he and Christian can talk about some food. So here we go. The options are endless when it comes to some good old barbecue. Chicken, ribs, pork, beef. If you don't eat meat, that's fine. We got you covered with veggie kebabs, whatever your pleasure. As long as you slather it with your special barbecue, braise it in a special oven, tie a big old bib around your neck, and eat it up.
Okay, you are hired for a barbecue commercial. You are.
I am actually available.
Well, it is National BBQ Day, a reason to celebrate. That's why we're asking you, what is your favorite barbecue spot of all time? You have to choose just one, even though it's hard when you live in the Triad, and there are some amazing options to choose from. Well, many Triad barbecue fans are counting down the days to the return of the Lexington Barbecue Festival in October. You'll remember this was postponed twice due to COVID, but it's such a big deal every year. Hundreds of thousands of people come out. Last year, organizers shared that the event is scheduled to make a comeback this year, Saturday, October 22nd. Mark your calendar. The Barbecue Festival is the region's largest one-day street festival and draws nearly 100,000 people every year.
All right, so we want to know, what's your favorite barbecue spot? We heard from Vernette pretty quickly. She said, thanks, Ed, for mentioning my favorite hometown barbecue restaurant. Parker's Barbecue in Wilson, North Carolina is #1 for me. There you go, Ed.
Oh, yeah.
Nice little shout out. Denise said Lexington Barbecue is my favorite. We also heard from Steve, who said Parker's Barbecue in Greenville, North Carolina, and Prisley Polly's in Kernersville. I haven't heard of Prisley
I've not heard of that one.
Yeah.
I like the name.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, this viewer said the best barbecue is at Bunn's Barbecue in Windsor, North Carolina. She thinks they have the best barbecue slaw sandwich between some cornbread instead of a bun.
Oh.
That's Southern for you. And John from Mebane says he's torn between two places. First is Big Al's Barbecue in Wake Forest. Second is City Barbecue in Raleigh. And Rob says, my spot is in my backyard.
That's where we all need to be then.
Rob's
Thanks,
backyard.
Rob.
We're headed over.
Just text your address next time. All right, guys. We've all mentioned a few different spots. Let's start with Ed this time.
Well, I like Stamey's here locally, Stamey's and Country Barbecue in Greensboro. I like the Barbecue Center in Lexington. Lexington's got a lot of great barbecue restaurants, but as mentioned, it's got to be Parker's #1. Now, granted, with all those locations in eastern North Carolina, it's been a long time since I've had Parker's Barbecue. They got a location in Greenville, one in Wilson, and probably a few other places down in the eastern part of the state, but that is some good barbecue. Oh boy.
I'm going to have to try Parker's. Have you guys had it?
No.
I haven't had Parker's.
Me neither. I didn't even know about it, but thanks to Ed and all of you, Parker's where I might be pretty soon.
Time for a GMS field trip, huh?
Yeah, a lot of people are talking about Short Sugars in Reedsville.
Okay.
I've heard of that.
I've
never
them
been
too.
there, but I've heard of it. Wow.
Okay, so that's actually a little bit closer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you, Christian?
Oh boy. For me, I think, I always love the Lexington spots.
Oh, yeah.
And you can never really choose between one. So sort of my rule of thumb is that I'll go to Lexington Barbecue for barbecue, and then I'll go to the Barbecue Center for dessert.
Oh.
Because they have, and if you've never been to the Barbecue
cobbler,
Center,
the peach cobbler.
yeah, and they have one of the, it's probably the biggest banana split I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I've had 4 people at a table and couldn't finish it.
I
So
know exactly what you're talking about.
We
It's
could finish
insane.
it.
this crew right here
This
could probably
table of 4
finish
could
it.
finish it.
So
Is that
that,
a challenge?
yes. Field
Let's
trip?
do it.
Management?
Yeah,
We could use it as a morning show retreat,
right.
if you will.
As long as it's before 12:30. Yeah. So I got to get in the carpool line. After June 3rd, I'm free.
Okay. Well, and make it a summer field trip.
That's how the boss is, like you said,
That's
it's
right.
a retreat.
It's a
It's a team building, a bonding exercise.
Exactly.
Research and development.
Right.
So the Lexington spots are always my favorite. My dad is from Salisbury. And there was a barbecue spot on Statesville Boulevard right there near downtown Salisbury called College Barbecue. It's where my grandpa always went until he passed away 2 years ago. I mean, he went at least 3 times a week.
Wow.
Until 2 weeks before he passed away. And it was one of those spots, I was saying barbecue is such a passionate thing. Like you get a spot and you always go there. And he always would go there. I mean, to the point where if he didn't come one day, they were like, hey, Mr. Morgan, where are you? Like, are you good? Like they would go to his house and check on him. So we would always go there when we went to my grandma and grandpa's house in Salisbury. But I think probably one of my newest favorite spots, not necessarily in the Triad, but it's a place called Noble Smoke in the Charlotte area.
Okay.
Probably some of the best brisket I've ever had. And I was telling Ed earlier, barbecue's done right well, first off, it can't be done right unless it's smoked, hands down. And then if you find somebody who does brisket that's got that nice pink ring around it from the smoke, and it just falls apart, that's the way to go.
Oh, man.
I mean, it has to fall off the bone.
Has to fall off.
If it doesn't fall off the bone, then you have to work at it, and that's not barbecue.
I want to pick it up and let it. I want it to fall in the plate.
Yes, and it has to be. I know this is probably going to gross you out, and I'm so sorry, but it has to be like greasy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To the point where like you need an extra napkin just to kind of like pat it off a little bit, and then the skin part has to be like crispy. Sorry.
I want it to soak the bun.
Yes.
I get it. I'm in a house full of carnivores, even though I'm
Yes.
a pescatarian. So.
Yeah, but you had when you were talking about
The shrimp
barbecue and the
yeah,
yeah.
that sounded really good.
that sounded so good.
I mean, you can put barbecue sauce on anything, and it's good. I mean, it's not true barbecue, but really, you get the sense of the flavors. And speaking of sauce, it's different, as we all know, region by region. I grew up in the Midwest, St. Louis specifically. I know Kansas City is more known for barbecue, but St. Louis has its own special style too.
Nice.
The sauce is ketchup-based primarily, sprinkled with a little bit of vinegar. So not nearly as vinegary as it is here. So for me, it was an acquired taste.
Yeah.
It's a little bit lighter than, of course, the heavy ketchup stuff. It's good, but it's just different.
Right.
And so I enjoy it though. Slaw, not so sure. As we were talking about earlier before we started, coleslaw, it takes a little getting used to with that sauce, but.
Awesome.
The thing here in North Carolina too, it depends on where you are actually in North Carolina. You know, Eastern North Carolina, you're going to find the really vinegar stuff. You know, if you go towards Lexington, it's a little more tomato based.
A little more, yeah.
And then there's also where exactly, or is it just kind of all over in the state? Where exactly did the mustard sauce originate from?
I'm not familiar with the mustard, but I think that's a spillover from Tennessee.
Okay.
I'm not totally sure, but I think the Tennessee barbecue has that base to it, and I think that's kind of a spillover from there.
Places that have or use it are very few and far between.
Yeah.
Sounds good though. I love mustard.
All right, let's get to some comments here. Maybe this will jog some memories too.
Okay.
So Jamie said Stamey's. Like you, Ed, you mentioned that one right off the bat. Scotland said the closest Eastern barbecue here in the Triad is Prissy Polly's. So that's the second mention of Prissy Polly. So that's close to us, so let's go. LeVar said Lexington barbecue and Parker's barbecue are really good. Tracy's the one who mentioned Short Sugars. LeVar said County barbecue is good too. You have to let us know, is that in Lexington? Cherie said Boss Hogs was the best, but now I like country barbecue over Stamey's. So it looks like there's an order in some people's preferences, you know. Debbie said Hersey's barbecue in Burlington, and I agree.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't been
I
there in
hadn't
years.
thought about that.
Oh, they're so good, right near the park.
Yeah.
The Triad, I mean the Burlington Park.
Oh, yes.
I'm like, does anybody know? Yeah, and it's just so good. It's just so good. Let's see. R. Brian says North Carolina is the barbecue and chicken capital of the USA. And Rebecca wants to know, Christian, if you like Hops barbecue in Asheboro.
Oh, it's a staple. It's a staple for Asheboro people. It has been for years. I'm trying to think I was in Hops last. Probably a couple months ago I was in Hops.
I was thinking
like,
yesterday.
It's been that long.
It hasn't been that
yesterday. No.
Yes. Rhonda thinks that mustard sauce might be from South Carolina.
Yeah, and
that make sense?
one of our producers
Maybe
looked
so.
it up and said that it is from South Carolina. And some folks that I think had mentioned Bladen County here too.
Yes. So, I mean, I guess we could literally talk about barbecue, really food. You could say like cereal, and I'm like, I'm on it. Like,
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just a universal topic, especially in North Carolina. It's just a regional way to have a sense of pride in your area, and also it tastes good. So, let's go get some.
And I got to say, you know, growing up a little bit farther east down in Sanford, we were solidly into the Eastern style. And when I say Eastern North Carolina, kind of Wilson is the capital of the Eastern North Carolina barbecue. And then, of course, the Western style is Lexington.
Yeah.
And the line really runs right through Central North Carolina.
It does.
And but I learned very, very quickly that I like the Lexington style just as good. Still can't get used to the coleslaw. We use mayonnaise to make coleslaw in eastern North Carolina, but I eat it anyway. You put a plate of barbecue from anywhere in front of me and it's going to disappear real quick. It's going to be gone.
Now the question is, do you use ranch with your barbecue? Because I know you use it with your steak.
There's just my steak.
Okay.
There's no need to destroy a plate of barbecue with ranch dressing.
Did you know about this?
Off limits.
No, I feel like I missed a moment.
You did.
Ed was on his soapbox about
I use ranch dressing not only on fries, and Christian will tell you, we've been out to eat together and I got a steak and I said, would you bring me a little container of ranch dressing? I use that as my dipping sauce.
for steak.
For steak. It is wonderful.
I said, you do know you just asked for ranch, right?
Yeah.
He was like,
And Christian's over there looking like, what?
Okay.
What? Yeah. So that's one of the many weird things about me. But
Definitely not normal, but I wouldn't say weird.
But not with barbecue. No, it would destroy barbecue.
Okay.
Definitely not mixing those two.
Well,
So
we settled that.
I'm sharing this really quickly. Yesterday, I was eating with these two guys and a few other people, and they actually ordered the same thing.
I ordered it first. And Ed changed his
Yeah,
order.
I had something that was boring, and I said,
Ed said, I can make that at home.
I said,
was like,
yeah, I can make that at home. Let me try this that Christian ordered.
Oh, I
And
missed
it was
that
good.
part.
It was good. Yeah.
Okay, because I was like, you guys are on the same level in terms of what you want to order, but really it's kind of like I see, I do.
Yeah.
And if you don't finish your plate, I'll finish it for you.
yours.
Hey, you
Well,
gonna
I'll
eat
tell
that?
you what, Christian and I have dreamed about starting food segments on the Good Morning
Listen,
Show.
we've got there's a whole Microsoft Word document on my computer about food segments that Ed and I
Make it
talked
happen.
yeah.
We got a kitchen over there.
Yeah.
I know.
Fire
and
it
we
up.
love to eat, so those two combinations.
Go.
Oh yeah.
All right, well, this has been great. Now that I'm absolutely starving.
I know what I'm eating for lunch now.
Yes. So let's move on here.
All right, let's get to some morning headlines. We do have a lot to cover here. High gas prices holding steady nationwide and in the Triad, as you probably noticed. Gas Buddies report today says prices are the same as last week's national average of $4.46 a gallon. That's still up 39 cents per gallon from a month ago. Here in Greensboro, the average cost is at $4.22 a gallon, 43 cents higher than a month ago. Gas Buddies Patrick DeHaan says prices later this week could be closer to $5 a gallon. Make your voice heard in tomorrow's primary elections. This is not a presidential year, but the midterms are very important in deciding who will run our governments locally, statewide, and federally. But there are big races that could affect future policies at stake. Polls open early tomorrow at 6:30, and WFMY News 2's Denise McMiller is in Greensboro with what makes this primary election unique.
Well, now that early voting has come to an end, Guilford County's 8 polling locations are closed. So in order to get your vote in, you must go to your assigned precinct tomorrow on Election Day. Guilford County will have 165 polling sites open. Precinct information is located on your voter registration card sent to you in the mail. If you can't find it, don't worry. Go to the State Board of Elections website. Click the voting tab. There you'll find everything you need to know from voting precincts to your sample ballot. You'll have from 6:30 in the morning to 7:30 p.m. tomorrow to turn your votes in. The time to request a mail-in ballot has passed, so in-person voting is the only option. And for those who do have their mail-in ballots, you have to get them in tomorrow. That is the last day to get your mail-in ballots in. And whether you're voting in person or by mail, you must choose to vote either Republican or Democrat to get the appropriate ballot. And if you don't affiliate with either party, here's what you'll need to do.
Those voters are going to get the option. They're going to be asked and they can choose to vote in the Democratic primary or the Republican primary. Not a mixture, but one or the other.
And Guilford County is about 51% Democrat, 24% Republican, and 26% unaffiliated. And this midterm primary gives voters the chance to make sure that candidates they like end up on the November ballot. And if you still have any questions, you can check out our voters guide at WFMYnews2.com or give your local Board of Elections office a call.
Well, Winston-Salem police are investigating a shooting that spans 3 separate areas and injured 7 people. Police say they found 2 people shot on Highway 52 south of the 25th Street exit, and they found 4 others on East 25th Street. We're told 1 person showed up at a hospital. Police believe the shootings happened at Fairview Park and on East 25th Street, and that all 7 people injured were involved in this same shooting. Officers say they all have non-life-threatening injuries and believe it was a targeted attack. Well, make sure you check your candy jar. Some Skittles, Starburst candies, and Lifesavers gummies are being recalled. The FDA says people have reported tiny strands of metal in some packages. Some were loose in the bag. Others were embedded in the gummies. If you have a pack, don't eat them. Throw them out or return them to the store for a full refund.
All righty, let's check that forecast. Be on the lookout for a few pop-up strong or severe storms as we head through the afternoon. Not a large number, but with a cold front moving in and warming into the mid-80s, a few severe storms are certainly a possibility with some hail and damaging winds from about 2 p.m. until about 7 p.m. this evening. Cold front moves through, and how about a little less humid and drier air working into the Piedmont? It's going to feel very comfy tomorrow with low 80s, mid 80s, and still dry on Wednesday. The humidity starts to roll back in, and you know, for your entertainment and pleasure, we're going to turn up the heat a little bit more because we didn't think it was warm enough with 85 today and Wednesday. So how about near 90 on Thursday? We've not had a 90-degree day yet. We could do it on Thursday, more likely for Friday and Saturday. We think we're going to top out into the low 90s. And with that daytime heating, maybe an isolated storm each afternoon, but those storms will be few and far between. At the end of the week and into the weekend, the big weather story is going to be really, really heating things up across the Piedmont. And before then, I'm going to get the air conditioning fixed in my vehicle because it's not working, and I have put it off long enough.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's time.
Now's the
It's
time.
It's time.
It's time to get it fixed.
That's the question I've gotten a lot lately. When last week when I started talking about, hey, you know, we might get to 90 next week, was, oh gosh, it's so early, right?
It's
you know,
May, yeah.
It's funny because typically our first 90-degree day is around May 24th, so we're not that far off. We were late in 2020. Our first 90-degree day wasn't until July. And then last year we were right on May 24th. So this year that's pretty close to average.
And I feel like
a good thing about 2020, you just named it. One good thing.
We didn't get 90. Oh, we didn't get 90 until later. Sorry. Had to
No,
be one
I'm
good
glad. I mean, like all these years I've been searching. What was the good thing about it?
thing. Here we are.
There had to be one thing, right?
Yeah, I think normally people say, oh, we skipped right from, you know, winter to summer
Yeah.
and like skipped over spring. But I feel like we have had some really
We've had a
nice
spring this year.
spring weeks. I mean, we've had the pollen and everything else that comes with spring. But, you know, we had some enjoyable temperatures.
We really did. We really had. I think we've actually had a decent spring.
Yeah, I think we have. I think we have. Sometimes you get the illusion that you go from, you know, chillier temperatures right to the hot weather, but we've had what we would expect, the kind of up and down. Cool off a little bit, heat up a little bit, cool off back and forth. And that's the transition when you go, you know, from winter to spring to, you know, we're not far away from summer, are we?
Here.
Well, I'm sure we'll be talking about this later in the week, especially as our days, you know, get warmer. Tomorrow a little bit cooler though. Yeah. If you can consider
Less humid.
82.
That's the big story tomorrow.
Yes.
Less
Oh,
humid.
82.
Perfect.
That is the perfect temperature.
Right. Megan's happy, and we want to keep her happy because we want
Yes,
her
we
to
do.
stay.
I'm not going anywhere. I'm here.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow on After GMS right here on the News 2 Facebook page at 7:45.
See ya.